Hey and welcome back. This is our first episode of Gather Our Girls, and today we'll be discussing about comparison. So some quotes that we love about comparison are: admire someone's beauty without questioning your own.
And confidence isn't walking into a room with your nose stuck up, but walking into a room not even needing to compare yourself in the first place.
But can we do that?
And do we actually do it? How do we do it? Can we actually admire somebody's beauty without it taking away from us? Can we walk into a room and feel okay with who we are on the inside? Or do we walk into a room feeling like we have to compare ourselves to the people that are around us? I think if we're honest with ourselves, we do compare ourselves with whoever is there, whether it's the way we look or what they're wearing or what they might be good at. And culture does comparison well, and not in a good way. Dr. Brené Brown, she's a shame researcher. She's done loads of statistics and research on this, and she says that we live in a culture of scarcity or a culture of lack. So when we compare ourselves, we end up feeling like we lack. So if somebody's good at something, it must take away from who we are. And we don't believe that that's true at all. So here's the challenge. We're offering the challenge. Mal's got the questions. Go for it.
So is that actually true? Or do we actually lack something? Or is it that we're just gifted in another area and that we should be championing that in someone else?
Yeah, I think those are great questions. So do we actually lack if somebody might be good at something, or, you know, or is that just the way that it is and we've got something that's unique within us and that needs to be celebrated also? It doesn't really need to be higher or lower. Why can't it be equal? And I think the world says that it's like, well, if you're here, then I'm here. Or if I'm here, then you're here. But actually, what if there's greatness within all of us and we just need to find out what that is and bring it forward for others, right? So for example, Mallory and I lead and serve on a youth team together, and we work with young people, and we work with people that are the youngest of 28 and the oldest will be 80 next month, which is amazing. But Mallory's like, she's a creative genius. She can take an idea that's in her head. I seriously have never seen this before. She can take something in her head, or she can see something, and all of a sudden this idea gives birth to this item or this thing that you can hold in your hands. It becomes something tangible. Like, I know that I don't have the ability to do the same thing as Mallory, but does that mean that Mallory can do that, that takes away from who I am? No, it doesn't.
Just like Shannon. Shannon is able to do a relationship with absolutely anybody, but I find it really hard to make new friends. And it doesn't come naturally. And also she sings, and I ain't got a great singing voice, but she stands on a platform and sings her heart out. Does it mean that I lack in my gifting when it's completely different to what her gifting is?
So, you know, the world needs you. It doesn't need a different version of you. It needs just you and what you have to offer and what Mal has to offer and what I have to offer or what somebody else has to offer. It isn't a threat. It doesn't mean that we end up lacking. It doesn't mean that we're somehow less than. So maybe the way that we want to empower you is that try to know what your own uniqueness is and encourage and champion the uniqueness and creativity in somebody else. And believe that it doesn't take away from who you are. The world doesn't need from me what Mally was born to contribute, and vice versa. And that's how it should be with everyone. The world needs us to just be who we were called and purposed to be, not us trying to be somebody else. Like, we need to do us because we can only do us really well. I love this quote as well. It says, "Why we were born an original, why would we die a copy?" And so you do see this. You see everyone copying each other, and actually no, we need to champion. We need to know what we have within us to bring to the table, but we also need to champion what we see in one another. And also, I mean, this isn't about comparison, but the way that girls and women can speak of each other, it can be so degrading, it can put others down, and why do that? I don't know why we would do that, and also it's really hurtful. And so what if we champion what's in each other?
So if I champion what Shannon's got gifted in her and she's championing what's gifted in me, surely the world will be a better place for doing that. And if we did that to each other, I just think what this world would be like.
What your schools, what your friendship groups, what your communities, what it would look like if that's the approach that we took with people. Because I think sometimes as well it can be quite harsh, and that doesn't serve the world any good.
No. I think it's accepting who you are and knowing that you are unique. No one else has got your face, no one else has got your fingerprints. No one else is you. And you just got to do you well.
Yeah. Do you, be you, and don't be anybody else. And that's okay. And I think as well, we don't say this enough, is that who you are is okay. Like, who you are is beautiful. Who you are is unique. Who you are is lovely. There's so many adjectives that we can put after who you are is, and them all be good. And I think sometimes we don't hear that enough. And when maybe somebody does say it, we don't believe it. We kind of hear it, but it goes in one ear and out the other. But what if today we actually chose to believe it? Like, who would we look like if we woke up in the morning and believed that we were unique, and believed that we were loved, and believed that we had something good to contribute? Because the truth is, all of those things are true, whether or not we believe it.
What would you look like, and what would you be doing differently?
Yeah. So here's the invite. We want to invite you to, in the next 2 weeks, to take 24 hours and record. Take a journal, write it down. What voices are you hearing? What things are you living from? Do you compare? If so, to who? Is it maybe what somebody looks like, or is it somebody's Instagram feed, or is it what somebody's wearing? And write down the messages that you are playing in your mind, because what we believe is the place that we actually live from. And so we want to invite you to do that for 24 hours, but we also want to invite you for 24 hours, a separate one, is to encourage. Choose a posture and attitude of encouragement towards others. When you see something good in somebody, when you see creativity in somebody, call it out, tell them. I think it's good to over-communicate than under-communicate, and see what comes of it. And share your journeys with us. Comment on the bottom, tag us in posts. Let us know how you're doing. So do you well. Do you, be you, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.